Good evening, everybody, and welcome to ANZCAR here on Locked On Lads TV, where we are as prepared as you can ever be for tonight's broadcast here at Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Thunder Series tonight. Joining me here in the broadcast booth is one Mr. Peter Wilco Wilkinson. How are you going, Wilco?
I am excellent, Carl. You have no idea. We need to actually stream this pre-show. It is ridiculous. I was halfway through a conversation and I started the countdown to the broadcast and took Carl by surprise. For those of you listening at home who've joined up for the stream, I have not outdressed Carl Wilkinson, Wizzy Wilkinson at all. Wilkinson Wizzy, I'm going to get it right one time.
You got it right first time, and then you changed it.
I always change shit. We are a PG broadcast, so I won't swear again, but no, I'm in my... I picked out... So you did DJR last week. I've got old school DJR. You can't quite see them on the stand-up, but it's an old school, back when they were... Wilson Security, back in about 10 years ago, I think I got this shirt. So got the Locked On hat, but no, I am not outdressing one Carl Wizzy Wilkinson. Did I get it right then?
No.
Wilkinson.
No, you got it.
Huh?
Got it wrong again. You got it wrong again. Wilkinson
Hopeless.
Wizzy.
Just for all you playing at home, I'm having a shocker of a week, but I'm here to talk about Atlanta. Now, I've put up on the screen Real Racing Real Fast, because this is one of the fastest tracks in the world for NASCAR racing. Is that right, Carl? Did I get it right?
Yeah, it's definitely one of the faster tracks out there. I mean, it's up there with places like Fontana. It's not a super speedway, of course, but it's more that sort of cookie cutter. 2.4 kilometers, I think, 2.5 kilometers long. So about a mile and a bit.
I think it's a mile and a half, to be honest, with my research.
Mile and a half. That's the one. Trying to convert imperial into metric is always tricky. But yeah, it is a very fast track. It's also a tricky one. Of course, there is an update coming to Atlanta, and Atlanta has seen some slight changes as well. So that should be hopefully coming actually tonight, dropping for the Cup tomorrow, which will be interesting. But for tonight, we are on the old school Atlanta, which is still a very fast track. It's a track that really punishes the right front tyre. You've got to be really, really careful on the throttle. It's all about getting that car settled through the corners, keeping the car settled, and carrying on speed as well. It's a tricky track to get used to.
Yes, definitely. And one of the other things I found in my research, they actually filmed the start of Smokey and the Bandit 2 at Atlanta Speedway. So for all those Smokey and the Bandit fans out there, this is the home of the start of Smokey and the Bandit 2. So really, really interesting stuff. Well, one of the other things, Carl Earnhardt, massive fan of this track, obviously won many titles. Dale Earnhardt.
Carl Earnhardt?
Yeah, Carl, I'm getting, like I said, I'm tired. Dale Earnhardt, it's one of his best and favorite tracks out there, winning 9 races from here. So really, really good track for stats, and like, it's one of those famous tracks. You see Daytona, I'm doing it again, Talladega or Daytona as those, iconic tracks, but Atlanta's really up there.
Yeah, it is. Look, it's been around since the 50s, I think. So I think it was like 60 or something it opened, or
yes,
back 1960. So it's been around for a good long time. It is a very famous track. It's been used for NASCAR for many, many years, and there has been so many fantastic races here, and we've seen it as well in ANZCAR for all the series. And tonight we're going to get to witness that here for the Thunder on a Wednesday night here on Locked On iRacing. We've got qualifying going on at the moment. Just setting the times alight is Jaden Russell again. Jaden Russ, very quick out the box with a 31.6, couple of millionths faster than Hamish Gallagher. Raymond Yeager up there now, 31.5, very quickly up there from Raymond Yeager. Very nicely done indeed for the Pinnacle Esports Racing member.
Yeah, definitely. It's fast track. It's one of those tracks that's going to have not much between every driver on the track, especially on that last lap. So it's all about positioning for yourself for that last lap. Tyres we talked about before. Raymond Yeager, they're doing a great job. He's been up and around and thereabouts so far all this season, except for about one race. But this is one out of the box for him. Very, very good start to it. Lachlan Mercury out there. Ruben Phelps jumps up to 3rd on the timing table as well. Less than half a tenth I don't know. That's not a thing.
I know,
500th of a
it's
second.
such a tiny amount of time between them. It's always so tricky because it's when you get to millions, and it's so tiny.
I
I'm
just
used
want
to talking tenths and thousandths, but yeah.
quickly shout out Tristan Cock again up there in P8, and Darren Lobbs just chucked himself up there right behind Stevie Dove into position number 6. As always, Hamish Gallagher filling out one of those top 5 positions as well. Billy Hickey. I have not seen that name before, but welcome along, Billy. He's not on the track at the moment, but he's sitting in 14th at the moment, which is really good. Something must be wrong with Danny G because he is not got a good time there. The 32.1. And as this camera starts to play up, we're on board. He's just finished his lap and he jumps up to it. Only 18th. That's a tricky one for Danny G there.
Yeah, Danny's been struggling a little bit in qualifying recently. Mr. Greskowitz has been really struggling with the odd qualifying pace. Billy Hickey, of course, long-time member of the ANZCAR fan, has been racing with us for a fair bit of time, but first time this season out in the Xfinity cars, which is nice to see. Just looking out through the field as well. Stephen Clark back in the car too. But yeah, Tristan Cox has been really good with qualifying recently. Another top 10 qualifying position for him. Really good result. And just, again, been having some very good qualifying runs. Race pace been struggling a little bit, dropping down a few spots, but finishing in strong positions nonetheless. And the tricky thing is when you have a really good qualifying session like that and qualify yourself up inside the top 10, you sort of drop a few positions and you feel like you've done a bad job through the race. You haven't. You've just had a fantastic qualifying result. I expect to see Tristan up in the top 20 at least today. Maybe a top 15 finish will be up there for him. Just out on track at the moment, we have Michael Scurlock, who's just finishing up his lap.
Are you behind? Because I've got grid coming up.
Yes. I was slightly watching the YouTube stream by mistake there because I was glancing over at my Discord and the wrong screen completely. But yeah, just the joys of watching the wrong screen. There we go. So the grid has formed and we will get through the starting order. So starting out on pole is Raymond Yeager with Jaden Russell on his outside. Second row is Scurlock and Phelps. Good run from Ruben Phelps there. Gallagher and Stevie Dub in the third row. Fourth row is Lobb and Urquio. Fifth row is Koch and Jones. Sixth is Schultz and Spencer. Seventh is Mickelmore and Mankervis. Eighth is Hickey and Dyson. Ninth, we have Dortnack and O'Shea. 10th row is Danny G and Patton. 11th row is Georgeson and Hunter. 12th is Jordan and Clark, Norman Clark that is. Hurley and Carol Walden on the 12th. 13th row, 14th row is Campbell and Stephen Clark. Dave Douglas, Maddie Ray, Brad Fenley, Connor Nixon, Kai Turner, Noddy Tompkins, Mick Taylor and Maxi Marshall round out the rest of the field tonight. Looking for a stellar race here at Atlanta for round 5 of the Thunder Series. Just quickly, as the cars line up, we'll just go through the championship standings. So Gallagher still leads, 32 points over Scurlock. Ruben Phelps in third, 4 points behind Scurley. Fourth is Russell, 2 points behind Phelps. 4 points behind Russell is Mickelmore in fifth. Sixth is Norman Clark. Seventh for Raymond. Eighth for Urquio. Ninth for Patton. Dave Douglas in 10th at the moment as we get ready for the pace car to start lining them up here tonight.
And instead of Cactus Cam this week, we have Starter Cam looking at bird's eye view from where the flag will be flying. This really good to see. The Xfinity cars, the ANZCAR Thunder Series, still bringing in Mecca fields. Like, this is a really good effort tonight. Thank you, everyone who is supporting this thing. And let's get a quick plug in while they go around for that first lap. Locked On Lads TV is the place, the home of ANZCAR Thunder right now. So definitely check it out on Facebook, on YouTube for Locked On Lads YT, Locked On Lads on Twitch are the places you can get the previous and the current live broadcast of all the Thunder Series. And check us out on Facebook, like Locked On Lads, lockedonlads.com/Discord if you want to join in the fun. And don't forget that Locked On iRacing podcast is goes up weekly except for week 13. So there is no episode this week, and we have got a special episode next week for the 1 year anniversary next Friday. We will be live. I hope I announced that right, but next Friday we will be live on Twitch, locked on, and all the actual social media places. So get ready to check that out. It's going to be one special episode. But we are ready, Carl. We're coming around, I think, turn 3-4 right now, are we?
We are indeed. As we come out of turn 4, the pace car is going to peel away. It's going to be Jaeger leading us away here tonight for Atlanta Motor Speedway. And I'm going to shut up and let's listen to these cars roar away here at Atlanta.
You already see Hamish getting up in behind Scurlock there, pushing Raymond Jaeger along, but Jaden Russell has had an absolute flyer and got around to the outside and taken with him Ruben Phelps. It's a very good start from those guys as they start going single file again at the very front of the field. Looking back, we're going 3 wide though fairly quickly. Josh Mickelmore making his way up through the field slowly. Ryan Jones slipping back a little bit, I think. But yeah, looking really good start to the first lap of the race.
Yes, it's all very close between Lobb and Jones there. They were 3 wide as they got towards the start-finish line. 3 wide, there's a little bit of contact between Phelps and Jaeger at the front. Very, very, very slight contact. A slight little dent above the 06 of Ruben Phelps on the right-hand side. No major damage between them, but that will have woken them up for sure. We are green here, and look, it's going to be a tricky one tonight. These cars get very hot very quickly. The Xfinity car, of course, a lot of horsepower, not a lot of downforce on them. They do get very slippery, and it is very easy to lose the car quite quickly here.
Yeah, I'm looking here. It looks like Maxi Marshall hasn't started the race, but other than that, it is a clean start. Looking really good. I need to drive these cars around Atlanta. I missed doing it last season. It's really, really good track. We see Hamish there just sticking his nose out of line and just taking the low line there, see what happens with it. But at this stage, looks like there's some stuff happening further down the field. Let's go back down to roughly around where Danny G is and these people. Very packed around here, which is really good to see. Dave Douglas there working his way back to the field after his do we say shocker of a week last week? Sure, you won't mind us saying that. But Luke Jorgensen here and Danny G just sitting around nicely. Joshua Carroll-Walden all the way back down the back here yet again. I was saying before that he has actually had some good one-lap pace in practice tonight. But finds himself down in currently down in 19th position as Aiden Schultz and Ryan Jones seem to be jumping around up the front there as well. So let's move back up the front and see what's going on.
Yeah, 3 wide, a little bit between Hamish Gallagher, Stevie Dub, and who is that on the inside? I think that's Michael Scurlock there. They are really racing hard at the front of the field at the moment, which is, it's going to start hurting those tyres a little bit. This is helping Raymond Jaeger out front just get a little bit of a lead. Himself and Jaden Russell are just going to be enjoying this fight behind them because the more they battle, the more they are going to wear those tyres a little bit, and that's going to hurt them laterally in the stint.
We have lost 2 cars off the back here. Mick Taylor's going very slow on the inside, along with Brett Campbell, so I don't know what's happened there. I need to get... There's lots of things happening.
Brett Campbell's got a lot of damage.
Yeah.
He is in the infield. He's had a huge moment across...
We have finally got the yellow flag.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Let's go back here. I want to see what's happened here with...
I think Mick's gone up into the wall, unfortunately.
He has too. I just saw that just as we went to replay. So let's go back a little bit further.
Yeah, Mick's gone up into the wall as we get across the tribal section there. He's actually got loose out of turn 4. And then it's sent him up into the wall in this sort of little bit of a tribal-ish section here. It's sort of a little bit of a weird little kink. And then, unfortunately, Campbell is the driver that's got caught
So now I need to find out what's happened. Here we go. We just got Mirko getting a tail hit from the 092, which has then put him into the wall. He's gone slow, but at some stage, that is what's pulled out the yellow flag. He hasn't... Oh, here we go. There he is.
Yeah, he's lost his engine, unfortunately. So his engine's actually gone. So Mirko's lost his engine, and that's... brought the caution flag out.
Just trying to see if we can get on board with him and see what happened here.
I reckon he's downshifted a little bit too early, and that's just let's just listen here.
Yeah, no, he's got these. Oh, it's gone there, or is it? He's definitely the. There you go.
Yeah, and I think he's just missed the rev slightly, and that's just caught the engine out. So we've got the first caution down, 8 laps in. We've got 88 laps remaining. Of course, there is a tyre limit tonight, so they're limited to 4 sets of tyres, of course, which means should be limited to 4 sets of tyres. Let me just double check. Yes, they are limited. Yeah. Which means, of course, you start on a set of tyres, then you have 3 sets to use through the race. So we've seen Lachlan Urquio, Ryan Jones, Brad Fenley, Brett Campbell, of course, come in, Dave Douglas, Mirko Dornack, of course, and Nick Taylor. But Lachlan Urquio and Ryan Jones are the two to be gambling a little bit here. Ryan Jones, a lot of damage on the front of his car, actually, so he's getting repairs done. So I don't know what's happened to Ryan Jones here.
There was that part that I wanted to go back and find. He's got rear end damage there, massive rear end damage as well. So I don't know how far to go back, but there was definitely something.
Lap 5, he actually had that incident. So he's gone up into the wall. He's got caught up into the wall, and then unfortunately Lachlan Urquio has gone into the back of him. So Ryan Jones getting up into the wall, getting loose, and that caused that damage between those two. So yeah, so that's lap 5 of the race there.
I need to get a button to go straight to the exact spot of the exact lap, because right now I don't have that.
It would be not. It's these things that we need in commentary sometimes.
Let's just go live. He's coming back out of the track though, so that is a good thing. He's got as many repairs as he can get done without going a lap down. I assume he's not a lap down there still. That's the way he should be playing it anyway. Yeah, no, he's not
on the lead lap. So yeah. So himself and Lachlan have both come in for repairs, and I think possibly some tyres as well.
Yeah, well, Brad Finlay and Dave Douglas have also done the same, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
We've got Lachlan took a minute 38 of damage repair. Ryan Jones took a minute 27, so they both probably maxed out as much as they could risk without going down. So they both have damage left.
Yeah, Dave Douglas actually don't think he took tyres. I think he actually just took a brief moment to see what actually happened. Fenley, I'm just going back to see the VB driver. Of course, everybody's
everybody's favourite.
Everybody's favourite drink. We all know what VB stands for, of course. Yes, none of them took. Dave and Fenley didn't take tyres by the looks of things. They just came in and got some fuel. So, interesting little strategy there. If they didn't take tyres, obviously a long race to go here.
Fuel is not an issue, so there's got to be some damage there that they've got to try to fix up, because obviously you will lose time over the course of the race with that damage. Are we about to go green? Look at that.
Oh, we've got a little bit of time left.
Okay.
We're just going through through the second corner at the moment as they line up 2 by 2.
My map's completely wrong. That's why I'm looking at the map and it's not right. Okay, so
I should have heard how proud Wilco was at being prepared tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
But nothing
can going so well.
Nothing can prepare me for how tired I am right now. We are coming in to, let's have a look at this camera for 3 entry, and then turns 3, 4 as they come around, getting ready to go green again. I'm going to let you take this one away, Carl, as the starter cam gets ready to wave that green flag.
As the pace car starts to get ready to pull in, Jaeger is going to be leading them away. It's his job to set the pace. As soon as that pace car leads in, he becomes it. When's he going to drop the loud pedal? He waits. He drops it now just before that line. Gets a relatively good start, but Jaden Russell is right on him. Russell gets a fantastic restart there on the outside, timing that to perfection. Russell getting alongside the 23. It's the 23 versus the 28 at the moment. Russell on the outside, Jaeger on the inside. The battle is on. Scurlock getting a good run behind them. They are side by side. They come down the back straight for the first time after that restart into turns 3 and 4. Scurlock on the inside. He's taking the title line at the moment. Sometimes that can hurt your tyres in the long run. Sometimes it's better to take that middle to high line. Jaeger gets a really good run out the corner. Chops Scurlock's nose off. Does not get the run on Russell this time, but Jaeger defending his position. Scurlock really putting pressure on that low line.
I need to shout out here. There's a big gap, not a big gap, but it's 0.6 a second open up between Scurlock back to CV Dub. Ruben Phelps there, very, very loose on restart, and definitely lost speed there and backed that whole bottom line up, or the inside line up, and I think that's what's caused a lot of that gap. As you see, Ruben's dropped right back down to, well, right back down, but the 5th. But yeah, look, Raymond Jaeger doing a great job here. He putting it right to Jaden Russell, who's been one of the best performers so far this season as we go into round 5. Really hasn't missed a beat except for his internet. But this Stevie Dubs slowly catches up this train to make it one long train yet again. What good racing we're getting at Atlanta. It never fails to something or other. That's a word, that's a saying, you know what I'm trying to say. As we go back to Luke Jorgensen back in the field here, battling around with Nigel Payton. Not a lot of 3 and 4 wide action at the back here. These guys are being really good, Carl. What did you say to him in the off season of 1 week?
Oh look, I just told him to behave himself. And actually listeners, oh, who's that? I see Koch just down there, as well as Nankervis having a big moment out the corner. As we say that, just getting caught up behind Josh Mickelmore as they get out of turn 2. Looked like Nankervis lost the rear of the car. He managed to save it. Good job from Jamie there. Billy Hickey as well, just keeping it behind Tristan Koch at the moment. The teammates working hard to keep the cars up there. Just as you were talking about there before, Wilco, cars getting loose on the restart. Something you want to watch out for here. The rear tyres heat up very quickly, and of course, as you're going through those heat cycles, as you put your foot down, it's very easy to lose the rear on these cars. So it is warm out there as well tonight. Track temperature of 39 degrees Celsius. So those tyres will be screaming in agony out there here at Atlanta. It's a tough track on tyres to begin with. When you've got 700 horsepower going through those rear boots on almost 40 degrees Celsius track temperatures, it is going to be painful.
As went back up to the front there, because Hamish Gallagher's made a move. He's got past Stevie Dub, or he had got past him. They're now battling 2 wide as they go around. He seems to be holding that position. Jaden Russell is dropped out to 3rd there. Scurley's gone to the front again. So these front 3 are playing little games and sorting out who wants to be where, because obviously this is not the point where you want to be leading anyway. I'd be happy to be where Jaden Russell is, or Stevie Dub, just sitting back and looking after those tyres while the other ones set the pace out in front. But Hamish just refuses to get in line. This is what I don't understand, Carl.
Well, you don't actually want to be in line, really, because you're going to be getting hot air getting all into the car, and that gets into the intakes and gets onto the tyres. So a little bit of cool air is actually probably what you want at the moment. In all honesty, I'd probably prefer to be out front at the moment than behind people, because as you sit behind people, you're starting to get that hot air, you get that little bit of dirty air on the car, it unsettles it in the corners, you start scrubbing the tyres a little bit more, they get hotter, the car gets harder to drive. We saw it a little bit in the truck race. As soon as you started getting behind another car, it started to be a little bit tricky to pass, and it started to really warm the tyres up as Tristan Koch just had a little bit of moment mid-corner with the massive battle pack he is part of. Very well safe. Just had a little bit of a back step out, I think. No, he actually got caught by the 52 there of Aiden Schultz. Little tiny bit of contact between Koch and Schultz, I think. If there wasn't contact, then it was just a little bit of that aero wash, just causing Koch just to get a little bit loose. He did a really nice save there. So yeah, it's really tricky, and honestly, it's one of those tracks where, because you're not really worried about fuel, sometimes it's nice to be in the lead because you're getting some cool air on the car at least. It is a thing of heat management tonight.
Definitely, that's one of the things I like about you, Carl, hitting you on here, being able to educate the viewers and the other special comments people that are sitting next to you, telling them exactly how it is. I like it. This battle pack's very interesting. Like Tristan Cock, we said, is over qualifying, I think, at the moment, and doesn't quite have the race pace. He's only, like, we're talking hundredths of a second off, but you can see there where he's always in a fight because there's always someone trying to get fronted by him at the moment. He's absolutely doing a great job as Andrew Dyson just gets past him with a little rub that got him a little bit loose there as well, with now Billy Hickey coming up behind him and Luke Jorgensen as well. I think they're sneaking up behind him to make him work for his position, work for his what was a top 10 position, now 12th position on lap. I want to go back. Ryan Jones is actually coming up through the field here from his damage. His car looking really good in the rear there compared to what it looked like before.
But he's on the freshest tyres, of course. Remember,
yes,
he is on fresh boots at the moment, and he is trying his best to get up there. It's not disparaging comics, Tristan Koch as well. We just want to make that clear. He is outperforming in qualifying recently. He has been setting some great single lap times as very close.
96 is in the wall, and he's come down. Oh, there's a big crash. That's JCW. That's multiple people. That's a caution.
We've got a big wreck behind as Josh Micklemore.
Oh, wow.
JCW, Josh Micklemore, Kai Turner. So Kai Turner is actually the one that's started off that incident just in front of Ryan Jones. Kai Turner in the middle finger racing car just gets up, tags JCW, Joshua Carroll Walden, and that sends JCW down into Micklemore, and that catches out Micklemore's teammate Danny G as well. He gets a huge slap on the front of that car. That's going to really hurt him out. Nigel Payton almost snuck through it.
Look at Lockie going flying into the wall there too.
I tell you what, go on board with Nigel Payton. He has an absolute great save in the Pinnacle car. He just gets caught up in it, but just slips it through and manages to kind of avoid the worst of it. Maddie Ray, Mr. Clean, Mr. Shing, did not keep it clean. The 83, a lot of damage to the nose of that car, and I think that is the end of the night for the SRM car, unfortunately. But watch this from
he's just got nothing to view. It just comes from nowhere. Wow, he is 90 degrees.
Full sideways.
All at 90 degrees.
And then he's back pointing the right way, and away he goes. Very, very well kept there. That was
I want to see that from the outside again in slow motion, please.
That was it was a pretty epic one.
You see behind 96 was having a shocker anyway. But look at him, he's taken a few taps. Oh, the tap in the rear there is what started him going from Lockie. Lockie's just firing off into the wall there. He is full lock sideways.
He is absolutely, and then just manages to just roll off the brakes and get it pointing back the right way, saves it from snapping, and then back on the gas and keeping that thing moving. That is a beautiful drive in there by Mr. Nigel Payton. Okay,
so we've got Nigel's obviously coming into the pits here. What have we got? What have we got to sort out from that whole mess?
Well, we've got a lot of cars coming through pit lane. Norman Clark stuck it out there in an Atari car, but I think he's going to be coming in soon. He had a lot of damage on that car. He got caught up pretty heavily in that one. So I imagine we'll see Norman actually trundling through pit lane. Although he might stick it out there. He might be trying a bit of a roll of the dice here and actually keeping it out. We know Norman is an absolute veteran in motorsport and has got much experience under the belt, be it from rallying to circuit racing. He is one of those drivers that has done it all, and well worth a chat to, Norman. If you ever get the chance to, he is a fantastic bloke to talk to.
Yes, definitely. We do want to do an interview with him at some stage. I'm looking at the car in front of him. Poor Brett Campbell from that incident way back lap 10, I think it was, or lap 9. Still got no front end of that car. He's sitting there patiently behind the pace car till he can get the wave by to keep going. But we have everyone but Norman Clark on fresh tyres. We have Mick Taylor out there. Although is he in the pit now? He's actually still in the pits now, repairing damage. So hasn't changed his tyres yet, though.
a lot of people getting repairs done, getting bits and bobs done. Actually, just interested to find out. I imagine Ryan Jones will take his tyres in that stop. I'm going back to double check 'cause that was his second stop, of course. So I imagine he would have taken tyres. So he's going to be. He's starting to run a little bit low on tyres now. So he's only got 2 sets left for the rest of this race. We've got 71 laps remaining here tonight, Wilco.
Already.
Yeah, long way to go.
There we go. Brett Campbell just got the wave around. How good is this drone cam, Carl? Can you look at this for a second? Wow.
It is absolutely gorgeous. But joining us up in the booth from the Infield Care Centre is Mr. Matty Ray. Matty Ray, we love talking to you, but we'd rather do it after the race when you're in at the top 3. Obviously getting called out tonight.
Yeah, it happens, doesn't it? Bit of racing, but yeah, bad luck.
Obviously, it's not the way you want to finish the race. I mean, I guess car is absolutely done tonight.
Yeah, there's no coming back from that one. Yeah, it was. I could see like stuff hanging out the bonnet and all that, or out the hood, whatever you want to call it. When I was driving it back, I thought, "Oh, this can't be good." So
just don't call it a game, whatever you do. Who do you want to throw shade at, Raymond? Manny, Raymond.
What do I want to do, mate?
Who do you want to throw shade at for causing all that incident for you? Go on, have a crack at someone.
I don't even know who I hit. Someone comes spinning onto the track, and I just had nowhere to go. But yeah, it was odd. Like it looked like something small happened up above, and everyone just sort of lifted. But yeah, it happens. Bad luck, eh?
It is.
Green flag.
As we get ready to go back to green flag, thank you so much, Matty Ray. Always a pleasure. Hopefully, we'll chat to you in better circumstances.
Cheers, boys.
As Norman Clark starts to fall down the field as expected on those old tyres. Trying something different here though, Norman. He is saving some tyres for later in this race. He is hoping for maybe another caution to come in the next 5 to 10 laps, I would say. So keep an eye out on that one. Meanwhile, Michael Scurlock has taken the lead. Hamish Gallagher, the champion himself, Mr. Swift, I'm sure he'd love to be Mr. Swift at one stage in his life. It's probably a lifelong ambition for young Mr. Hamish Gallagher. But yeah, he is really doing well at the moment.
As we see here, Ryan Jones, we mentioned before, from that incident, coming up to P7 now. Had a couple of good stops. Obviously had the fresh tyres on the field, but up to 7th is actually really good. Really good run from where he was with that damage as well. So. Now, obviously, on the same caliber tyres as everyone else, but that group in front, we got a caution.
Raymond Yeager, I believe, caught up in that one.
Oh no!
I think that might have been Yeager getting caught up, unfortunately.
I've got to change. We're going back too far, but that's okay. Let's have a look.
Oh, Schultz and Yeager. Unfortunately, so the 52 and 23, Aiden Schultz coming up, and
we might have gone back an extra lap here. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah, we'll catch this one shortly. So they're going across the line, and
there it is.
Unfortunately, looks like Aiden Schultz has gone up into Jaeger and caught the Pinnacle Esports racer in the front there, and that is a big moment there for our pole sitter.
I'll have a look from
what he wants.
In the 52 car. Like, let's go inside. Let's see what happened there.
I reckon he got.
It's a weird one.
He got called for all. He probably got called clear, because they were almost 3 wide, and I reckon he thought. He was clear there, unfortunately, and it's just caught him out. So that is a big shame there for Jaeger. That is that's devastating for him because he was having a really.
Oh,
good
he
run
was
there.
right on. He was the fastest one out there. Was doing great. Obviously, got caught up in the pits more than he wanted to be back down to where he was just there, but. That's just unfortunate. Aiden will feel terrible for that. I don't know what's happened there, but he's just gone straight. Yeah, that's all there is to that one. But let's go back to live. Nope, apparently he wants it to be an instant replay again.
Well, the person this kind of works out for is probably Norman
Norman
Clark.
Clark, yes.
He's currently sitting in pit lane getting some repairs done. And that it's gone well for him in that respect because it's given him the chance to pit. He's got fresh tyres now, the freshest of the field. Those other drivers would have done a couple of laps, only about, what's that, about like 2 laps of green flag racing. But he will be on some nice fresh boots now compared to the rest of the field, so that'll give him a little bit of an advantage.
Also on the fresh boots, Danny G, Aiden Schultz obviously has had the incident, and there's a few others there. Dave Douglas, the casting couch man himself, is out there on some fresh rubber as well, and JCW obviously trying to come back from that incident before, and
Yeah,
Matty Hunter.
A lot of those guys though are. They didn't actually take tyres, so they came in for fuel and repairs only. So they just came in for a couple of quick repairs.
I need to fix up that then because it's telling me stint on tyres, but it's actually just stint. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Rookie error myself.
So that's the issue, is because it will classify it as a stint technically, but they are only on fuel. So it was fuel and repairs. Good evening to Mr. Curtis and Mr. Pearson in the comments.
Shout out to Riley Curtis, not only watching us and commenting on Facebook, but they're jumping over to the YouTube as well. You're a #1 star at the moment. That's definitely worth a gold star. Well done.
Oh, look, Riley is an absolute pro at commenting. We should just see a bit more in the racing, of course. But a big shout out to the sponsor, of course, Naked HD. But yeah, no, it's always a pleasure to have those guys with us. Of course, Neil Pearson and Riley Curtis, both very, very quick drivers in themselves. And, always fun to have them along, enjoying the racing.
There is someone missing tonight. I've only just realised because he's actually in Facebook and he's done a shout out about 13 minutes ago to the casting couch. Luke Trahair. What's going on? Where are you? Why are you not racing?
Luke, what are you not doing? I mean, Luke has had a busy week. He had a great night last night in the trucks. A very, very good run last night in the truck. So he will probably be recovering from the hangover, I would say, of a celebration from last night.
I would love to celebrate for a win. That would be amazing. Teach me your ways, Luke. I know I've painted my car like yours. It should just get me there, shouldn't it? That's all I need to do.
That's how it works. You just paint the car in pink and blue, and you win. That's how it does. Maybe you just need a way down on there. I think that's it. If you have the way down on there, that is the thing that's going to guarantee the victory. Yeah.
How good is this digger cam? How good is this? I love it.
This is the view that we want to see when they all come charging around the corner. But we are getting ready. The green flag will be dropping very shortly. You're going to see a lot of hungry cars. Some 29 odd cars come across the line as we go back to green flag racing. It is Michael Scurlock in the 350 leading away. Hamish Gallagher on the outside. Jaden Russell trying to get up there to fight too. Ruben Phelps having a good run. Dylan O'Shea, the rookie sensation himself, having another good run. Jaden Curtis, nice run tonight up in P6. Ryan Jones working his way through the field up into 7th. Darren Lobb as well, a very good run from him up in P9. Mr. Dyson up in 9th with Stevie Dubb in 10th at the moment. But this can all change very quickly.
Yes, definitely can. As we go back in the field just a little bit, we're going to sit with Billy Hickey for a while as these guys up front battle it out. Billy Hickey, though, and Sean Hurley on his outside. No, it's Stevie Dubb. That has got to be Stevie Dubb, doesn't it? It does. Sean Hurley's behind him, trying to go too wide as they go around there. You see behind them Luke Georgeson and a few of the others there. Let's go back to Tristan Cock, who we were talking about before. Got Stephen Clark on his outside, his inside there, really starting to battle his way back up there. I expect to see Tristan closer up to the top 10 by the end of the race. He's just nice and consistent, as we were talking before, especially as these guys drop off in the field. There's a yellow car back there. Nobby Tompkins driving around in the top 20 there as well. Very good effort in such a strong field. Very good stuff there from Nobby as well. But back up the front, we watch Scurlock just start to put a gap on the lead. I probably should have been watching that to find out exactly what's happened there. But he's over a second now ahead of Jaden Russell and Hamish Gallagher, as really shows his pace. But I'd be interested to see exactly what happened there, if something split that crew up a little bit.
Well, Scurlock is just setting the pace at the moment. He is just flying. I think he is just pushing a little bit harder as it stands.
There's your digger cam, by the way, Cal. How good's that at full pace?
Oh, that is what we want to see. Is just so close to the camera, almost wrecking it. That cameraman needs to be paid some hazard pay.
We can't afford hazard pay. Don't give any suggestions. We can't afford nothing. If you want to sponsor us, let us know. Billy Hickey, once again, just in front of Andrew Dyson. There can't have been anything in that. Let's just
jump back. Oh, yeah, this battle between Lob, Hickey and Dyson is what we want to see. It's all so close to each other there. Dyson and Hickey rubbing a little bit, possibly a little Hickey there on the side of the 41 of Dyson. This fast fight is fantastic stuff. Sean Hurley running that beautiful.
Whoa, there we go. That's got to be a touch, doesn't it?
That's about as close as you can get, isn't it, really? I mean, like that is what we love to see in this racing. Racing at speeds well over 270 kilometers per hour, racing side by side, pretty much touching each other. These guys, it is fantastic stuff. It is the action that we come to expect here in the Thunder series, and it is the kind of thing that you can get in on as well. Head over to ANZCAR.com if you are looking to race in oval racing leagues. Of course, we run the Thunder series here on a Wednesday night, broadcast to you and brought to you by Locked On Lads TV, of course. But there is the truck racing on Monday as well if you want to start learning the craft, and that's a really good place to start getting yourself acquainted to the series and used to some of these drivers. Fantastic action here. But I gotta say, Scurlock up the front, he is chewing through his tires at the moment.
2 seconds out in front.
He's almost 2 seconds. He's almost 0.3 of a second a lap faster than Jaden Russell at the moment. Scurlock is on an absolute flyer.
He obviously knows something that we don't. There's something going on there.
I think it is just Scurlock being Scurlock and just going full throttle. He is going full send at the moment, and if this remains green, he is going to start struggling with tyres later in this stage. But if we get a caution in the next 5 or 10 laps, he will be sitting pretty.
Here's from the digger. Look at it. That's the gap he's already got on the field. But look at this, how the battle's going on back down through the field. There's not many people who are just having a bit of a lonesome time out there, as the solo car goes at the end there. But yeah, he's definitely got some pace there. Like I said, it's now settled down to about 0.1, 0.2 of a second faster than the other people on the podium at the moment. But the damage is done right now. 2 seconds out. Yeah, tyres are worn. We'll see if he comes back to the field pretty quickly. But this pack in the middle here with Darren Lobb, Stevie Williams, Luke Jorgensen, and Billy Hickey and Dylan O'Shea fighting for that top 10. His final spots in the top 10 is amazing. I love it. They're so close. They're not afraid to touch. This is what we like to see from NASCAR or Xfinity racing. Bit of shoulders out, bit of love taps in the rear, just unsettle people, and we'll see how we go. Bit of a mental game as well, as these guys duck down the inside and pull out, as we see Dylan O'Shea pushing through on. Oh, has he got him? Has he got Darren Lobb? I think he has. Not quite, but halfway through the race, Carl, what did you expect this kind of craziness?
I did not expect the pace of Scurlock. That's caught me by surprise a little bit, but that's starting to settle down, and he's starting to lose time to Jaden Russell now. He is starting to drop off a little bit. Russell is starting to claw that gap back and keep an ever eye out on the man behind him. He is going to be going all too well tonight, Mr. Hamish Gallagher, in the Mitch Motorsport car. Don't be surprised if we see him have the best day he can and be the better man in tonight's race. A big star that he is, Hamish Gallagher. As all car going very well. I think who was that in the background? That was Tristan Koch having a big moment with Sean Hurley. I think it was Sean Hurley getting up into the wall in the Levante beautiful cornflakes styled car, the Kellogg styled car. Just gets up into the wall and gets contact with the 550 of Tristan Koch, and that is going to hurt there as he drops back. Not what he needs. Hurley coming into pit lane, as it looks like he's got quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, we're just watching it now on the replay. Tristan's there. Let's have a look and see what actually... Oh, so he hits the wall first and then comes down onto Tristan's line. Sean does. So Sean collects that wall. And I think Tristan's the innocent bystander.
He is indeed, unfortunately, getting caught out. Meanwhile, up front, Jaden Russell is closing the gap on Scurlock as he started to burn those tyres out. He sort of was doing a bit of a hare and a tortoise race. Strange to call Jaden Russell a tortoise because he is bloody fast for a tortoise. But he has kept those tyres a little bit fresher, and now he's catching up at a good rate of knots. He's closed the gap from almost 2.5 seconds down to 1.5 seconds now. He is catching Scurlock hand over fist. Scurlock may be going a bit too fast, a bit too quick, and that's really caught him out.
We are looking at 25 laps into the stint currently, so it is the time we were saying before the race, about 10 laps it starts to drop off, and then it'll start dropping off even more as you get through. But 25 is probably the longest stint we've had to date, so this is where we're waiting to see it. So we've still got 47 laps to go. These guys will need more tyres at some stage. What do you think? Do you think Norman's on the right strategy? Norman's going to come through with a spare set of tyres that no one else has used? Or what have we got there? I'm trying to find where Norman is. He's 7-8. There you go. Norman's back there.
Well, at the moment, I mean, he's got some damage. He's just cruising along. He's sitting in a relatively good spot. He's on a lot fresher tyres than the rest of the field by a good 7 or so laps at the moment, so he's not doing too badly. He needs this race to run green for a good another 10-15 laps, and then you could see Norman Clark keeping it out a bit longer and possibly getting a lucky caution to get him in this race.
This lead is under a second, or just on a second now. This is really, they're fighting back now. Quickly, do you just want to shout out Trev Micklemore's put on Hamish to win, Russell second, and Scurlock third after his very accurate predictions last week. So hopefully that can come true. But yeah, these guys are really chasing them down. Although it's starting to plateau now at the well. Sorry for cutting you off. Carl?
No, that is much. That's quite okay. Look, I'm always happy for Trev to come in because always good to hear from Hick. Of course, a big shame about Josh. A nasty wreck early on, and Josh Micklemore being one of the unluckiest of the Mitch Motorsport drivers this season. Been a very un-Mitch-like season this year for the team, not having the best of runs. But the Mitch Getaway driver, you've got to say, is Mr. Hamish Gallagher, absolutely putting the gasoline to its use tonight and pushing along Jaden Russell in front of him, doing a gorgeous job of rushing that Coke-sponsored Mitch Motorsport entry up behind Russell. He's just sitting there, not pushing too much pressure on. He's not going too fast, too quick, but he's just waiting for things to go. And I think he knows he's got a good chance tonight. He's not being invisible. He is just sitting there and he's waiting for it until it's time to go.
Yeah, definitely. We were talking before about how he seems to be running a different game almost to everyone else on the track there. It'd be very interesting to see in about 40 laps time how that all shakes out. It is one of those things, there's not a week that goes by where we don't have Hamish in the booth. One of these people that I'd be interested to see if they can get up there though is Ryan Jones and Andrew Dyson and Stevie Dubb. These ones that were battling out before. If any of them can sneak through and get the pace to get up there near the top. But yeah, at this stage, Jaden Russell, Hamish Gallagher, and Michael Scurlock seem to be the fastest ones out there by ever so much. But over 97 laps, that does make a big difference, especially when we talk about 31 laps currently for the current stint. Ruben Phelps, is an interesting one. Just sitting back there as well. Just hanging in there. We know he's got pace. We know he's had a few issues there. He's got scrapes down one side of his car there on the driver's side, I believe it is. But otherwise, he's had the pace all race. He's just sitting off Hamish as well. Seems to be stuck in almost no man's land, being about 3/10 back from Hamish and a good almost full second ahead of Darren Loeb.
Loeb having a big moment of oversteer there, just manages to catch the car, but the tyres are starting to drop off now. That rear end is starting to slide out, and these cars are starting to get a little bit tricky. This is when you're going to see those drivers that have just kept a little bit of tyre in reserve creeping their way forwards. And those drivers that are very good at tyre saving, people like Gallagher, people like Dyson, those drivers that tend to just, keep every little bit of rubber on there and manage to keep those runs well. They're going to start creeping forwards. A little bit further back, there's a good race going on between Ryan Jones and Stevie Dubb. Stevie Dubb getting sideways out of turn 2, manages to save it. Big moment there for Stevie Dubb. Of course, last year's truck champion. Of course, very seasoned driver. Manages to save that car very well indeed. But there are some good battles going on throughout the field. It has settled down a little bit, but wait for this race to resume. We're on 38 laps to go. The gap for the lead is down almost a half a second as Russell's catching Scurley every lap. He's a good couple of tenths faster. That initial run from Scurlock, though, gave him a nice bit of a lead, gave him that chance to get a good bit of fresh air. So he's doing well. If we get some green flag stops, though, this could be a really interesting
We've got
battle.
a caution. I was just catching that. Aiden Schultz has had another incident. Let's go to the instant replay on that one and see what has happened there. We're not on Aiden Schultz.
Matty Hunter and Aiden Schultz. So Aiden Schultz, the 52, gone up into the wall across the sort of the start-finish line, and then gone down and caught series admin, Mr. Matty Hunter, and that is a big moment for those two, and that's a lot of damage to Matty Hunter's
synchronized spinning though. That was pretty. Let's have a look at that in slow-mo again. I want to see a chopper shot of that. Let's have a look. Chopper, play. Slow this down for the kids at home. This is as good as you've seen synchronized spinning in a NASCAR for a very long time. One of the great Olympic events that we've seen in the past. These two have got it done to perfection. What a team's event this is.
Oh, it's a beautiful little love story of a synchronized spinning there. That was very well done between the two, and they managed to...
Oh, and that's the point right there where Aiden Schultz probably got salt rubbed into his wound with a drive-through penalty for speeding in pit lane.
Yeah.
Or an unsafe entry.
That's it. Unsafe pit moment. It's going to be a hard one, but they've all come through pit lane now. Sparks are going to fly.
And look who's at the front of the field. Who would have thought young Norman Clark, 30 laps into his stint? I don't know how long he'll stay there for, but he's doing it again. He's going off strategy with everyone else. I'm fascinated now. 36 laps to go. Have we got a... Oh, no, here he goes. He's coming into pit lane now. I was about to say, if he's going to stay out there, this will be extremely interesting. Although he's got a few going with him. Obviously, the people who stayed out as well. That are a lap or so down to get some more damage done. But we're set up. You can get to the end now. You don't need to we don't need to get any more greens. There's no chance of a green stop needing to be done now. We are green all the way. Then what's your pick? You reckon Hamish has just got the the brains behind him to get there. Is that the fair way to say it? With the tyre management?
Well, I'm just flabbergasted at Norman Clark being called young. I think it was last time Norman Clark was called young was back when the Earl of Carnarvon was declaring war on the Boers back in 1875. So,
Come on.
sorry, Norman, that's a bit harsh. I feel.
I was giving him a compliment. You just had to go ring it down. That was nothing to do with me, Norman. Please.
Oh no. But yeah, no, interesting little strategies calls there. Norman just sticking it out there, getting some repairs done. He's got a bit of damage, but he's just keeping that car going. Scurly still in the lead though. 35 laps in now. Be interesting to see how they go. Will Scurlock try and go for that early run he just goes off into the shadow dimension there for a couple of moments. Luckily that connection comes back. Will he try and go for that early run, try and get a lead over the rest of the pack, or will he try and keep those tyres alive? I think he's going to go and absolutely flog it once again. So I think he's going to run away at the start of this stint once
And
more.
just try and hold on.
Yeah, the question is does Russell and Gallagher try and keep up with that? What will we see? Will we see somebody like Ruben Phelps just sit back there and not worry too much? Darren Lobb having a really good run as well, up into 5th. Jamie and Curvis, one of his best runs in ANZCAR to date. It's good to see Curvis up there, of course, one of the common racers in Weekend Warriors. We see Nan Curvis often racing in the Weekend Warrior League, of course, on the weekends, surprisingly enough for them. But a seasoned veteran, very good runner too. Ryan Jones, Andrew Dyson sitting back there as well. Both fast pedalers, but a little bit of damage to their car. Stevie Dubb, Luke Georgeson. Luke Georgeson sitting in a good position in 10th at the moment. But we are getting ready to go back to green flag racing here. Scurlock versus Russell. Who is going to get away clean here? I think whoever gets away well here is going to decide the race.
He's gone
Scurlock
early.
does not wait at all.
I think he's
absolutely leaves the pack standing.
I think he has just made all his intentions known in one split second. Scurlock will not be headed now until the end. He is going to open this gap up extremely quickly. And like a good sprinting horse does, just try and hold on to the bear. And if he can get to the post without being passed, he can do it. But this is going to be fireworks now. Let us wait and see. Have you got a count, Carl? I've been trying to count, but what do you reckon? Everyone's got one set of tyres left, or everyone's two?
They've got 2 sets of tyres left.
2 sets, so, okay.
So yeah, it's not two. No, 1 set of tyres left. Sorry. Yeah, 1 set of tyres left. So Ryan Jones has used up all his tyres now.
Okay.
So it's getting a little bit.
One more yellow will make this very interesting to see who has and who hasn't got tyres. It's going to change a few people's races.
That's it. I mean, pretty much the whole of everybody in the top 15 has got a set of tyres to burn, other than Ryan Jones, I think. Luke Jorgensen.
Jorgensen. I'm shocking tonight. Has just had a big moment. He got cut off, I think, and had to slow down massively, so he's got back a few positions. But we see that Tristan, this battle between Tristan all the way up to Dave Douglas is fascinating once again. This sort of teens position. There's lots of stuff happening here as Scurly goes out to almost 7/10 right now as he flies away from the field.
Well, it's something we don't always talk about, though. Like in the sort of from about 10th down, those positions in the races here in ANZCAR, it is so fiercely fought, and it is such a close battle. I mean, these guys, when you're racing against them, it's such close, clean racing between them. If you ever get the chance to go out there, and I know you have, Wilco.
I've never seen it that high up the field. Sorry, Carl, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, one day you can watch one of my streams, Wilco, and you'll soon see.
I pulled out of the lucky 31 because there was only 13 people in it. I didn't like being that far up the field.
You started to get a nosebleed.
Yeah.
No, it does get really fast and frenetic up there, and it is really good racing. And it's where you start to see people just get there, get to grips with things, and you
Ooh.
get to find us. Oh, Dave Douglas, big sideways moment there next to Stephen Clark, very nicely saved. One to watch out for as well, I reckon, is Darren Lobb and Ryan Jones. That battle's going to intensify very shortly as Ryan Jones getting a run on the outside of Lobb. Really trying to make the move. Loeb is going to push up, try and squeeze Jonesy up against the wall, force him high. Loeb keeping that car in the middle of the track, nicely defended at the moment. Doesn't want to run too low because that's going to start chewing up the tyres. A little bit further up though, Ruben Phelps is on the move, getting past Hamish Gallagher. The 06 getting past the 13, trying to make his move up there side by side as they're going to turn one. It is Ruben Phelps on the outside, Hamish Gallagher on the inside. Very nicely driven here. Phelps is putting in another great performance. We've seen this before from Phelps. He is a very strong competitor and a very fierce race driver as well. And when he gets a bit between his teeth, there are a few that can beat him.
I tell you what, these boys are not letting Scurlock get away with this. He is slowly creeping it out, but it's definitely nothing like the last restart. It's still only 0.7 of a second between him and Jaden Russell, as these boys really put on a bit more pace than what they were saving last time. So it's going to be interesting to see if that's going to actually wear out these guys' tyres and they won't have it to come back at Scurlock at the end. And maybe play into the hands of someone like Andrew Dyson or Jamie Nankervis or Darren Lobb sitting back there just behind them. Even someone like Ryan Jones, you never know. If these guys are going to fight hard and not let Scurlock get away, it's going to be a very interesting last couple of laps. As we know, Atlanta, it's never a big gap between first, second and third.
No, but I think the trouble is for Jones is he's having to race very hard against Loeb. Loeb, Jones getting sideways a little bit, lap back end stepping out, and that is the thing, is he's having to push incredibly hard against the 99, and I think that's starting to overheat the tyres a little bit, just struggling a little bit for pace as he's having to run that high line, run that low line, really fight hard, and it is just costing them both time. And the thing is, it's not just costing them time, it's costing them tyre life as well. It's a little bit further back, Dylan O'Shea, they almost go 3 wide with Georgeson, Koch, and who is that in there as well? One of the Pinnacle cars I saw in the group. It was Raymond Yeager. Raymond Yeager right on the rear end of Georgeson at the moment. Yeager 3 laps down, unfortunately, after that early incident, but still fighting for positions. And that's one of the things you have to remember on ovals. There are no blue flags. You do not have to get out of the way of cars. If you're lapped, you still can race. And believe me, they will race hard. Nobody makes it easy in ANZCAR.
It's interesting here. Darren's actually starting to pull away from Ryan a bit, so maybe that his tyres are a little bit hot. It's hot and wearing slowly. As Darren just gets on the back of Jamie here. So the one to watch might be Darren here if these front ones don't use up all their tyres. But Scurlock, it's interesting at the front, is 0.8, so it's just slowly, it's 1/10 a lap. He's just sort of not even that, probably half a tenth a lap. He's just pulling away from them at the moment as Darren makes the move happen and pushes Jamie back to 7th into the waiting arms of Ryan Jones. Will be now hot on his tail, so I don't know whether Jamie's tyres might be the one that are bringing him back to the field, but Darren is putting on a really good effort here as you see Ryan coming up on the back of him as well.
Yeah, some strong showings tonight from some drivers that we have not seen spotlighted too much this year so far. Of course, there's still a long way to go this season, but it is nice to see a few fresh names up in the top of the field and pushing away nicely. As Jones starts to try and make a bit of a move on Nankervis as well. Jones just falling back a little bit, letting his tyres cool down and now going back on the attack. And that's something you can do as well, of course, is just ease it off a little bit. Just let the car roll through the corners a little bit, not push too hard, let the tyres cool down a little bit, and then go back on the attack. And I think that's what Jones is doing at the moment.
Oh, I had a fear there that Scurlock's internet was about to play up. He just dropped off the timing board all for ever so slightly. For those watching that watched last week, I hope it's not as bright here in Atlanta as it was last week in the middle of Texas. That's where we were last week. Vegas? No, Texas somewhere. Oh, whoa, Davey Douglas. using all the track there for some reason. I just want to have a go back and quick look at that one. Fix my HDR settings, and the graphics aren't as bright anymore, which is good to see. Just gets taily. Tires just holds on to it though very, very well.
Yeah, I think Dave was trying to go to Phoenix there just to try and remind you of where we were
We
last
were
week.
Phoenix, there it was.
Yeah, just off in Arizona, of course. They're slightly different state, because there's too many states in America. I mean, they need less places. It makes it tricky trying to
Am I
remember all
live
these
again? Did he
places.
just do that again?
Uh,
I was live then. He just set it into the infield yet again. Anyway. Oh, there's smoke somewhere.
Correct. Billy Hickey. Billy Hickey in the Subway sponsored car, having a big moment across the start finish line, manages to save it. We don't get a caution out. Importantly, no caution. 18 laps remaining here at Atlanta.
Oh, wow,
So
that is
we
a good
are
moment,
getting
isn't it?
towards the moment, but a nice save there.
Look at that. Pulls it up perfectly, grabs the grass, just lines it up, and off he goes through the short track and back up onto the line. And he's coming to the pits from that. I think he's having some issues. Let's go back to the front where Scurley's just starting to come back to the field. It's only half a second now between him and Jaden Russell with 17 to go. Stevie Dubs sitting there. He's got past Jamie now and Curvis as well, as Jamie seems to be struggling getting around those corners, but Ryan Jones hasn't got past him. So Stevie Dubs come up from nowhere, starting to come through the field. As you see Jamie, there's sticking it high. Does he start losing the tail a bit? Not quite. He's coming back at Stevie Dubs there as well, though. So maybe I just caught him at a wrong time or a bad time. He made a mistake. But Stevie Dub into 7th place. Greg Spencer. Let's have a look at Greg for a while. Sitting there in 10th place. What an effort from him. Have you got a count on where he started? Because I don't have that on mine for some reason.
Yeah, so he started down in 12th place. So
it's only up
running
2.
2 positions. So, having a good, solid run. And he's catching Ryan Jones at the moment. So, having a nice run. But speaking of catching, Jaden Russell is catching Michael Scurlock at the moment. Wilco, I heard you had a few statistics and useful bits of information for Atlanta Motor Speedway.
So I was going into it before Davey Douglas decided to put his car sideways across the track. Atlanta, the track, the race meet that's had the most consecutive days delay before it actually got the race in. 6 days they had to delay the race because of a storm that came through with snow. They had to wait for the blizzard to finish before they could actually get racing again.
Yes, and there's been a few tornadoes and hurricanes.
It was actually a sort of a safe center for when there was the hurricane come through. So they didn't have any amenities for people to sleep in, but what it was they actually were able to put the RVs in the middle of the track, and people could actually come into the track and be away from the hurricane and be in a safe zone there. So Atlanta's, it's such an old track, such a great track, a lot of history there. But Dale Earnhardt, that was the big one. Like, he just loved it. Hotlanta they used to talk about with him. He was just always on whenever he came there. So,
indeed. And which US president worked at Atlanta Motor Speedway as a ticket collector?
I know this one, but I cannot for the life of me remember. It was Jim. Was it Jimmy?
It was Mr. Carter.
Yes, there we go. I did research that one before the race as well. And then I lost the name, so I wasn't going to bring it up. But yeah, as a ticket salesman, and then on to run to be the president of the United States of America. Absolutely huge claim to fame. As we got lap traffic coming in, who is that sitting up in front? That is Lockie after his big hit into the wall before. So I've not got the pace, but Hamish Gallagher back there is really putting it on with Ruben Phelps as well. That's going to be a very interesting spot for the last spot on the podium, as we're 12 laps to go now. We really are in a position where all the cards need to come out on the table in the next couple of laps. As, Lockie stays high, stays out of trouble, doesn't hold anyone up. But Jaden Russell's probably in the box seat, because those two are now probably a full second ahead of Hamish Gallagher now, as we concentrate on the front there as he gets right in close to him. Where do you want to be, Carl, with 2 laps to go? Are you going to be behind? Oh, yellow flag. That's even more interesting.
Oh,
Wow.
a big accident. Tristan Koch has just got through this one just about, but there was a huge accident in front of him.
Dylan
Looks
O'Shea.
like O'Shea, maybe Micklemore is caught up in this one
Yes, I
as
think
well.
so.
Yeah, unfortunately, Micklemore, O'Shea, and who was
Oh, it's
that?
Micklemore's hit the
in,
wall. Dylan's hit the I don't even know.
Kobe Jordan. Kobe Jordan. So yeah, Jordan in the middle there. So Micklemore up into the wall, unfortunately. Jordan running loose in the mid corner. He's had a moment. He's gone down and caught O'Shea. And it is a big accident there. And that has caused the caution flag to come out
Which
for
has
one more time.
completely changed the race.
It is indeed. And this is going to be painful for Ryan Jones. This is going to be exactly what he didn't want to see. Ryan Jones, Danny G sticking it out there. I think they have used up all of their tyres and they are going to have to stick it out there and hope for the best. Meanwhile, the rest of the cars come in for a fresh set of boots here at Atlanta.
Yes, as pit lane fills up, and I can't get pit lane cam to go. There it is. Look at them all. Look at all those cars. Looks beautiful, doesn't it? Such colourful pit entry. Well, pit lane. Sorry, not pit entry. As the boys start to come back out on track. But we stick here with Ryan Jones and Lockie at the front there, hoping to sort of gain a lap back there when he gets waved around. So get back onto unlucky 13 laps down. But Ryan Jones and Danny G, 27 lap old tyres. I assume Danny G's he was one of those ones that pitted early with tyres as well, so he's probably got no sets left. You can confirm that later.
Yeah,
but
he's used up all of his, unfortunately.
with possibly probably about 7 laps to go by the time we go, they will sink through the field fast, unfortunately. Jaden Russell got out ahead of Michael Scurlock, though. We know Michael Scurley himself can get off the line like no one's business, but he will have Ryan Jones and Danny G to contend with. He'll have to, if any of them hold him up, it's going to be a very interesting start. And if Jaden can get away, he might just have the pace to hold on to this. This start is the most important thing you're going to see all night, and I am so excited.
It's going to be fascinating indeed. Really looking forward to this one. Okay, let's go for some little bit more trivia here at Hotlanta.
I've got nothing else, by the way. Don't try to pull anything else from it. You go for it all.
Let's go for the open wheeler category.
Ooh, the old Indy cars.
The IndyCar and, of course, Champ Car series. Who has the most wins here in either IndyCar or Champ Car?
I'm not going to be able to answer that one. Is there an Andretti in the name?
No, there isn't. But I'll guess the team.
I can't even.
You can guess the team.
It would have to be a Penske involved, is there? Because you're smiling like no one's business.
We'll go watching me. Yes, indeed. Of course, Rick Mears, the fantastic driver for Penske and legend himself, most wins for Penske. Of course, second most wins was actually McLaren.
Wow. That is interesting.
McLaren back in the day with Johnny Rutherford back in the 1970s.
As we go to quarter 1-2, I thought they were coming into 1-2, but they're not. One entry. There we go. We've got them here. The M&M car, the JK Signs car. Oh, they're gonna play a big part into see. What's that?
Just gonna grab up Mr. Billy Hickey.
Billy.
Welcome to the broadcast booth, Billy. Obviously, rather see you here at the end of the race, but nice started.
Not quite, no. Yeah, but a bit substandard. Look, it started off really well. My practice was terrible, and then I got into qualifying, and geez, we actually managed to pull something out the bag. And then we went and we qualified P15, the race pace. I just thought I would take it easy, and then made our way into the top 10, which is quite a surprise. I haven't been in ANZCAR for what feels like about 15 years. I know it's not, but it's been quite some time. It's great to be back. And inside the top 10, I've always struggled for just top 25s alone, but to be in the top 10 was pretty cool. And then had an unfortunate rub, and it all just came unfurled from there.
Well, welcome back. Hopefully we'll see you again soon. We're about to get back to green flag racing. But
Thanks,
wish
guys.
you the best. Hopefully we'll catch you back soon, Bill.
Cheers.
Green flag, green flag.
As we go live again, I've just got to unmute my mic and my Discord has just died. So I don't have Carl anymore. You've just got me. Hopefully Carl will come back to me soon. We have live racing. We are on board with Ryan Jones as he goes back through the field slightly. But Jaden Russell has, in fact, got away to an absolute flyer as we hoped. And interesting there. Andrew Dyson is, like I said, is actually up there in a pretty good position as well. But I am now not even in Discord at all. So hopefully I can get dragged back up here and we can get Carl to get in for these last 5 laps as we fly around. And Carl probably doesn't even know I'm here. I'm not there. But anyway, Jaden Russell has got a 6/10 lead.
Caution, yellow flag.
We got a caution and Carl's back with me. I don't know what happened, Carl, but I don't know. What's happened in this caution? Stephen Clark.
Yeah, not sure. I was too busy actually trying to figure out where you disappeared to.
I kept it going.
I was sitting there talking away, so I noticed that there was nothing going on. Let's go back and actually find out what's happened. So Stephen
Oh, he's
Clark
facing the wrong direction here. This is not
He
good.
is.
In the middle of the
Oh,
line.
with
He's-
Spencer. He's had a moment with Greg Spencer, and then no, it was Spencer. So
Oh,
you have to forgive me as I don't have all my cameras up working, but yeah, just contact between himself and Spencer, and that's Lieutenant Clark around. Huge hit into the wall.
is that's 015? I want to look from here, from his gyro. Let's have a look back here. So he's just fine. Nothing's going wrong. He sees the car spinning. He's come up. He's slowed down. And beautifully, that is how you avoid an incident. You take it slow, you pick a line, you wait for them to stop. Look, Stephen held his brakes like he should have, which is really good, and that's a very good example of how to get through the field without making a big wreck even bigger. So, well done.
I just want to quickly jump to Norman Clark quickly. He has come in and he has got a set of boots remaining. So his strategy now
Here we go.
could pay off for him. He's obviously not got track position. We've only got three laps remaining, so it's going to be tricky to do anything from here. But he's got himself an opportunity here. That is going to be interesting to see.
I must say, he's one of the first people on the scene of Stephen Clark when he entered back into the middle of the track and just went below the line. Could have been the end of Norman Clark's race, but instead he's got a fresh set of boots when no one else does. He's at the back of the field. He's got probably 2 laps by the time he gets there to get as many positions as he can. I don't think he can do it, Carl.
He could be in. He could move himself up into at least a top 15 finish if he gets a good run here. So he could be in for a decent run to the flag here, and it could be a fun one to watch in a bit of a replay later on for sure. But it has left him in a fairly good opportunity, in all honesty. Although there's not much difference on tyres. There's only about 7 or so laps on the tyres, and not many of those are under green flag. So it is. As I say, it's sort of. It's not ideal, but it's going to be interesting. The ones to watch, though. Look who's in the lead of this
I
race.
know. I was commenting on that while you were in the netherrealm of Discord, and I got banished away. Andrew Dyson, I mentioned before, he was sitting back there in 6th or 7th, just biding his time. If anything happened up the front, here he could come charging through the field and find him at the front at the end. He obviously had a really good stop, last stop. Although a second quicker than Hamish, a second quicker than Scurlock, which overall pit lane, that makes up a second. He was only a second behind, so easily jumped him in the pits. So good entry, good exit. That's what it does for you. But wow, we're gonna have 3 laps to go. This is going to be an exciting little finish, Carl, as we come around to go to 2 laps to go.
It's going to be a grandstand finish here with Russell versus Dyson, Scurlock versus Gallagher, Williams versus Phelps. We've got Darren Lobb, Jamie Nankervis, Patton and Jones. Jones is going to be really struggling to the end of this race. He is on some pretty old tyres that have done 35 laps now. So he's got to be a bit careful in that mid-pack on this restart, not to light those rears up. That's one of the trickier things, and one of those things that's actually incredibly, it's a skill you've got to have, and it's a skill that is incredibly, it's a skill that you can't really teach somebody, is restarting on old tyres in a race condition. It's a fairly scary thing to do, and Brian Jones got a lot of experience under his belt, so should be fine, but you just got to be careful on the accelerator, not to put your foot down too quickly, because it's very easy to loop that car. So he's just got to be a bit careful in that mid-pack as we go back to green flag racing. It's going to be a 2-lap sprint, of course. We could see a green-white checker still. There is that opportunity. If we get a caution before the white flag comes out. But it's going to be Jaden Russell leading away for Synergy ahead of Mr. Andrew Dyson in P2. Who is going to get this race? As a great restart from Russell, Dyson gets a big amount of rear tyre spin, has a big moment as get up to the line. That loses him a bit of time, gives Scurlock the opportunity to get down the inside. Nice run from Scurlock. Hamish Gallagher taking the opportunity. There's a wreck, there's a big wreck. Danny G on his roof, I think it is. As we get a yellow flag, and we are going to get a green-white checker.
You have called it, absolutely. Oh, wow. That's
Norman Clark was going 3 wide between Kobe Jordan and Danny G. And on those fresh tyres, he tried to make up those positions. Unfortunately, Kobe Jordan's just gone up into Clark. And then Danny G has had a huge accident.
Talking Olympic events before, this is 100% the best pirouette I've seen on a racetrack in a long time. He just sits it and hangs it there, spinning perfectly in spot, just beautiful, absolutely amazing. The big loser out of this is you'll see Micklemore, the punching bag himself, come into this and clean up the side of, is that Kobe Jordan. His car is an absolute punching bag tonight as Norman Clark goes in the infield behind him. But that is a big one. That's a green-white checker. We've had, I'm almost going to say it here for the 3rd time, the most important restart in history. The big loser out of all that is Andrew Dyson's dropped back to 3rd. So he will be starting from the 2nd row next to Hamish Gallagher.
You say...
what's happened there? Oh, that's Dyson doing some tyre work to... What's going on?
I think Dyson has not realised that... Wait, have we got a green-white checker, or is it...
Or does he think it's over?
Race over. We don't get a green-white checker. No, that's the finish of the race.
Oh, there you go.
So Dyson
we called it.
Dyson was just celebrating that. Yeah, obviously, that's weird. I thought we would have got a green-white checker then. So
someone made a mistake.
Yeah.
I'm trying to work out why on the pace lap he's all sideways, but he has got the podium. Yeah. That's why.
Yeah.
He's one ahead of us.
No green-white checker in the actual. So I think possibly an issue setting up no green-white checker, because that should have been a green-white checker, I think. But that does mean that Jaden Russell takes victory tonight. Dyson was there celebrating away in P3 behind Michael Scurlock. 13 positions gained for Dyson there. Very nice run. Hamish Gallagher finishes in 4th with Stevie Dubb in 5th. Nice run for Stevie Dubb. Ruben Phelps comes home 6th. 7th for Darren Lobb. One of the strongest finishes of his season. Jamie Nankervis in P8. 6 positions gained for the night. Nigel Payton, 11 positions gained for the night. Dave Douglas, 19 spots gained in 10th. Very well done. And
only one green-white checker allowed, I'm getting told by Rolly Curtis. The other one wasn't a green-white checker. We had 2 laps to go when we started.
So, yeah, that was not a green-white checker situation. So it was
just a normal caution with 2 laps to go when they crossed the start-finish line, as far as I was aware. But anyway, we're going to have to talk about that later. Let's go through the rest of the result. Ryan Jones holds on to 11th. Luke Jorgensen in 12th. Very strong effort from him. Well done. JCW, Joshua Carroll-Walden there in 13th. Brad Fenley in 14th. Well done. Nobby Tompkins, a very good result into 15th. Dylan O'Shea, actually, Nobby's up 19 positions according to mine. And Brad's up 17. Very good effort there. Dylan O'Shea in 16th. Aiden Schultz in 17th. Tristan Cock in 18th. Like I said, hold on to that top 20 position. Really well done. Matty Hunter, after getting in that accident before, 19th. And Kobe Jordan, 20th there.
I think actually that was the green-white checker that we were seeing there. I'm confused.
Don't worry, I'm a constant state of confusion. Danny G in 21st, Brett Campbell in 22nd, Greg Spencer in 23rd, Stephen Clark in 24th, Stephen Hurley in 25th, Norman Clark in 20. Well, it says 22nd, but it's, I don't know. That's all over the shop. Josh Mickelmore in 27th, Lachlan Oakweo in 28th, Raymond Yeager in 29th after his absolutely great start. Billy Hickey in 30th, and rounding out is Mirko Dortnat. I'm sorry, I've stuffed that up. 31st, Kai Turner in 32nd, Mick Taylor early exit in 33rd, Matty Raymond, as we heard in the booth, 34th, and Maxi Marshall didn't start the race. Neither did Connor Nixon, but that is the results of another classic race. Let's go to, I've got to press a button here, turn on said webcam, because I killed myself before. We're going to go to that. We're going to transition into me and you, and we're going to talk about this race.
Yeah, and luckily we don't have to see the complete confusion on my face there as I was looking through. Apparently, yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, because I was pretty sure that we got the caution on lap 96, so we still had a couple laps remaining. So not 100% sure what happened there. Maybe there was a green-white checker. Anyway,
one of those nights.
We got a fantastic race. This is your fault, Wilco, for saying that you're 100% prepared and ready for this race and everything was going to go right tonight.
I apologise.
You cursed us completely. The curse of the commentator is strong with you, Wilco. But we had a fantastic race nonetheless, and we got a fantastic podium as well. So grabbing up first of all, we'll start with traditional spot of the third place position. The man that was absolutely slipping and sliding his way across the line, Mr. Andrew Dyson. Welcome back to the podcast booth, and congratulations on a P3 finish.
Oh yeah, lads. Thanks, man.
You had us all confused. Can I just quickly say, we're sitting here thinking it was a green-white checker, and all of a sudden I'm like, what is this Andrew character doing? He's going sideways across the start-finish line, and then we've realised the race was over.
Well, you know, at first I actually nearly made the mistake of thinking, oh, that's it, the race is over. And I was going to go into the pits, and I'm like, oh, hang on a minute, everyone's staying out. I better just cross the finish line. And then I worked out, yeah, that's it. That's the end of the race. I have to cross the finish line, and had a bit of fun with it.
It wasn't just us confused then. That's some good news, because, yeah, we were up here trying to work out what was going on for a few seconds there. And then, yeah, it was utter confusion up here in the broadcast booth. But a really strong finish for yourself tonight. Strong race for you, starting 16th, working your way up into third in the end. Very well done, working your way through the field. What was your secret?
Well, I think there was a few mischiefs going on, so I probably benefited from that a little bit. Then in that long run, just look after some tyres, passed a couple of dudes, had some good restarts. And then, yeah, that last run through the pits, I made a couple of spots there and probably didn't really deserve to finish third, to be honest, but, you know, got them cheeky spots and hung on to it.
Yeah, how hard did you go at that pit lane? Because you're a full second ahead of both Scurlock and Hamish Gallagher in that last stop.
Well, every other stop, I pretty much came into the box and I was way too conservative. And that last one, I just stopped in time, like with it all locked up and a little bit sideways. And then I was a little bit like slack getting out the box every other time through the lane as well. So I made sure I was, you know, on my toes and ready to go. And had a good run out.
Very well done indeed. A really nice finish there at the end. Obviously, working your way through the field as well tonight. How tricky was it out there on track?
I don't know. It wasn't too bad. Everyone was pretty good to go to race with. Plenty of room left and all that sort of stuff. The main things you probably had to look out for was maybe getting a bit tight on the way in and a bit loose on the way out. But that was pretty nice to drive. So I think most people would agree that it was a pretty nice car to drive and it wasn't too sketchy. So it was all right.
Look, congratulations on another solid finish tonight, another strong run. You're making these visits up into the broadcast booth a regular occurrence.
Yeah, not so much lately in these cars. I've been dropping the ball a bit, but it's good to come back and get into the booth on one of these races. I think this is the first Xfinity race I've finished this year, so it's good to finally finish one and get it in a good spot too.
Well, it's nice to have you finally up here in the booth for the Locked On Lads broadcast. Congratulations, and before I let you go, the usual thing of shout out and love to sponsors and everybody out there, Mr. Andrew Dyson.
No worries, mate. Thanks for having me in. Thanks to Locked On Lads or Locked On Lads TV for putting on the broadcast. We appreciate that. Thanks to all the guys at ANZCAR for putting the whole show together. Thanks for all the boys who jumped in DPR tonight and had a race, and to all the drivers tonight. And shout out to, I think this was Synergy Sim Racing race tonight, so shout out to those boys, and they won it too. Cheeky dogs, we can't be having that. Shout out to Simrix.com, South Bay Listen Hoist, Phoenix Smokers, BMX Mechanical, and MP Designs, and I'll hopefully see you soon.
Thank you so much. I'm sure we'll catch you back in the booth soon. Always a pleasure. Andrew Dyson, DPR.
Thanks, mate.
A really strong night there from Dyso, and again, just one of those drivers that is constantly just able to get that car in a good position.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously we're going to places like Coda next week. We'll probably have a chat to him again there. Very strong on the road, but we'll see how that goes. But interesting to see that was his first entrance into our booth on an Xfinity race. As he said, it's not been the best of seasons for him so far, but yeah, good to see him back up the top.
Yeah, always a pleasure to have Mr. Dyso there. Next up, we will grab down one of the Mr. BMX bandits, the man with the moustache, the legend, the man himself, Mr. Michael Scurlock. Welcome to the booth, mate.
Hello, Carly, mate. Looking beautiful there, mate.
Oh, look, I try my best. Mr. Scurlock, your season seems to have the momentum of a runaway freight train. What is the success? The key to your success this season in Xfinity?
Probably not knowing anything about anything. Like, I didn't even know that I was running in points today until I was listening in on the broadcast, and you said it at the start, and I was like, oh, I'm in second place here, boys. I didn't know.
Can I just say,
remember.
Can I say it impresses me that you're listening to the broadcast while you're out there ready for the race? That's I'm rather impressed by that. Now, Scurly, you're a man of many talents, and you drive these things off the rails all the time. What were you thinking when you went 2 seconds out? Was that you just pushing as hard as you can and hoping for the best, or what happened? What was going through your mind?
I could hear you guys, and I'm like, man, like I was half of me was going, yeah, I'm driving good, I'm driving good, but then the other half's like, well, I can't be driving that good. Like something's going on. Like why are they trying to save fuel, or you know what I mean? And then I did find out that Hamo and Russell, bit of teamwork going on there, unofficial teamwork. So if they were both collaborating to save their stuff for later, I can understand why everyone was kept back, you know, because I thought at least one person would try to make a lunge and pass them or something. Because I was wondering why they were all so happy to sit back and lose so much time. And it almost worked for me. They did start gaining back at the end, and I tried to fight on, but you can't really, if you stuff up the start of your run and go too hard, you can't fix it halfway through. Like you're stuck on that strategy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
no, absolutely. It's one of the tricky things, of course. Tires, when they go off, it's hard to get them back, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I don't know. I mean, I think there is ways of trying to get them back, but I mean, I don't really know. I just try not to be aggressive on them early and try to keep it, try to keep the same turning on the wheel like throughout the whole run. That seems to be the key. And just don't start winging it around like a gorilla. You know what I mean? And you'll be right.
That's my problem. I know now.
Yeah.
We finally know where we'll
to go more than 180 on the wheel when you're turning in.
Oh, what? I've got to learn. I've got to go to Scurly's school of driving. That's what I need to do. How much do I pay for that thing? Look,
mate, a couple of grand.
Tell us about this paint job. Where'd you get this from?
I don't know, just chin on the rim, mate, is one of my sayings for some reason. I can't remember why. I think it's because a while back, I use VR, and when I get right into the race, I like find myself like hunching over and almost like got me chin on there. And especially when you're in VR, it looks like your head is over the top of the wheel. So I'm like, man, I got my chin fair on the rim here, right on there, and it just became a thing, mate. So I'll just chin on the rim car. This is.
So before you started sim racing, did you have a full beard?
No, on and off, mate. I go through the variety of.
You've just worn away that bit of facial hair where you've been busy putting the old tin on the rim. No, congratulations to that, Scurlock.
Can I ask one more question? Are we going to get a motivational video again for the Cup Series tomorrow night? Have you got it planned yet?
Oh, mate, just see how I'm feeling. If I'm feeling good, mate, I'll put something in there.
Okay.
I like to. Depends if I'm feeling stupid or not.
Wilco definitely needs it.
I do.
Look, the usual things, Girly. Shout out and love for all of those sponsors that you carry.
Yeah, mate. Bundle of sponsors. Can't remember what any of them are though, so sorry. Just BMX Bandits and Performance E-Streaming. I like it. Oh, no, it's not Performance E-Streaming.
We are the best.
I mean,
we're much better than those locked on boys. I mean, those guys are just told.
It's a collaboration. We're all together. So, Performance E-Streaming for such a good job on Thursday nights, and Wilco and Locked On Lads
TV
TV.
Yeah.
For doing such a good job on this. Like it is good. It's professional. I like it.
Can you shout out to your number one? Can you shout out to your number one fan, please? Nathan Verney's in chat. He wants a special shout out from you.
Always, mate. Happy birthday, Verns, for the other day. Big 40, mate. I'm coming up.
Congratulations.
One more thing.
Oh.
Of course.
Since last week, said she wants one of you like stuffed and put on the bed, mate, as a bed pillow when you were dressed up in that stuff the other week.
The safari suit.
On there all the time. No, the one before that.
Oh. I don't remember.
It might have been safari.
That was
whatever it was, mate.
It was a safari suit. I can tell you that right now. It just didn't come across very well on the broadcast.
She wants you as a sex pillow.
Look, can't blame her. Thank you so much, Mr. Scurlock. Thank you so much, and I'm sure we'll catch you back in the booth soon.
Thank you.
Well, it was going so professional and so well until tonight, Wilco.
It's like you don't put kids in TV shows, you don't do animals on film because you never know what you're going to get. You don't get Scurly in the booth. You never know what you're going to get. Apologies for everyone out there we offended. But, look, he is one of those people that is always there or thereabouts in a race. You can never count him out, and you can, except for on a super speedway. But anyway, let's get into the final position on the podium.
And it is winner, chicken dinner tonight. Mr. Jaden Russell, congratulations on a fantastic victory here tonight at Atlanta for the Xfinity Series.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It was a pretty cool race. Would have been good to see it go green and actually race Scurly for it instead of just jumping him in the pits and then winning off the cautions, but that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, we were a bit disappointed. We thought we were possibly getting a bit of a green-white checker there at the end and possibly a bit of a mad dash. But you locked yourself in that position pretty well. You were running there or thereabouts all night long tonight. Obviously, good pace out there.
Yeah, the first stint was really just trying to save the tyres and keep with them where I could, and it worked for me until Scurly started running away. Sort of got to him at the back end there, and I was thinking I was on better tyres, but we didn't really get to see it play out with the caution coming through.
Now, what were your thoughts there when you saw Scurlock absolutely bolting away? Did you think about possibly trying to catch up, or did you decide, no, just keep with your strategy for this race?
Oh, I knew we had another stop coming, so I sort of just wanted to save the tyres as long as I could and hopefully jump him that way. The couple of runs I did in practice, I didn't think he was going to get too far without wrecking the tyres if he was going to go at that sort of pace.
No, it paid off in the end. We saw a bit of collaboration between yourself and Mr. Hamish Gallagher there as well.
Yeah, it did work for him pretty well. Whether he had the tyres there at the end or not, it didn't matter because what he needed to happen happened. So, yeah, me and Hamish sort of tried to work together to pull to the front there and catch up the Scurlock, but he sort of got shuffled with a mistake in the pits, I think. I'm not 100% sure, so he didn't get back up with the green-white checker.
No, big shame not to see that great battle at the end. Hamish just a couple of tenths slower. It was not by much, but it was a tiny little bit that cost him in the pit lane. But tonight it is another victory under your belt, Joan. Another victory on the ovals. You're making a bit of a habit of these things.
And I need it to be that way too. I'm pretty sure the drop round, I'm just in touch and distance of Hamish now. Might be a couple points behind, so I need to be winning where I can. And hopefully don't need another drop round. I don't know if we get one or two, but I've already used that one with a disconnect, so I should be right there with him.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting battle. Of course, there is the full season championship as well that goes into these things, as well as the Series 1 championship. But you're definitely in contention for both of them, and have been having some fantastic races. I mean, obviously, one of the big things for yourself is coming along in the Oval Series. You've been going strength to strength this year on the Ovals.
Yeah, I've been enjoying them a lot. I actually turned down some dirt racing tonight to race this, so that's interesting for me. It's normally what my go-to is, but I wanted to try my hand at the championship and see if I could keep up with Hamish, which has paid off for me tonight. But yeah, enjoying it. It's been good, apart from the cup cars where I haven't been able to finish a race yet, but that's good.
Hey, it happens to the best of us, though. Or at least you get in the field.
Look, it's been a great season. Look, I'm sure that cup opportunity is definitely coming. But in Xfinity, you have been the man taking it to Hamish this season. The only other driver with 2 wins under his belt so far. Jaden Russell, congratulations. Before I let you go, the usual thing of shout out and love to sponsors.
Yeah, just everyone with Synergy. Scotty, I believe, put up the sponsorship for tonight, so that was good of him. Put it under the team's name, so yeah, it was good to win that one.
I mean, winning the race for the team's race as well. I mean, that's a good feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant. It was main goal tonight. I wanted to win that one because it had our name on it. So yeah, it's good to go back to the trophy cabinet.
Absolutely marked this one fully. Congratulations, J. Russ. Well done again, and I'm sure we'll catch you back in the booth soon.
Hopefully. Thanks, guys.
Jaden Russell there, Synergy. Another win for J. Russ, and coming from last season, really coming strength to strength, and has become one of those drivers you can count on for getting those wins.
Yeah, definitely. Like, he is definitely, I think, one of the people to beat, even though technically it doesn't say that on the board. He's got 2 wins under your belt, as he said. I think there's plenty more to come. Definitely won't be the last time we talk to him in the winning position at the end of a race. I think the others probably haven't quite got the consistency just yet on what they really need. But Jaden Russell, you're going to see him at the tail end of the season. He'll be there. Some very interesting stuff from the people behind. Like we said, some really good results there. Nigel Payton and Jamie Nankervis and things like that. Actually, I've got the things too far back. But yeah, there were some really good results there at the end of the field. At the end of the top 10, there were some names getting up there that we hadn't seen for a while. But some great racing from those teams. I mentioned before, Darren Lobb, Jamie Nankervis, and Dave Douglas even coming through the field there at the end. Ryan Jones, as always. Luke Jorgensen as well had a really good race. So, yeah, really good.
Yeah, Ryan Jones getting I've got to say, getting a bit lucky there at the end with those cautions, because those old tyres were looking to be a bit of a painful one. But sometimes a little bit of luck coming your way is not a bad thing. Speaking of things coming your way, Wilco, what have we got coming up with Locked On Lads? Obviously, nothing this week for the podcast, but next week we have got the 1-year anniversary.
Yeah, definitely. So join us live. Get into our Discord, lockedonlads.com/Discord. Hit up. We've got some questions, comments, and favourite moments we're taking in there right now. We will do a post on Facebook when we announce all this as well. You can put your stuff on there as well. A few other things lined up. Tickets go on sale for PAX Oz on the 22nd of March, I believe it is. So only in a couple of days' time. If you are interested, I think most of the team of the Locked On Lads crew anyway will be trying to get to PAX Oz this year in October. It is Bathurst 1000 weekend, which is the killer for me. But at this stage, I'm leaning more towards going than to PAX than Bathurst. But if we do that, we'll do it in a big way. We'll have a big community meetup. So if you are interested, keep an eye out for those ticket sales on 22nd of March. Another thing we got coming up is a big fundraiser for Cure Cancer between April 28th and May 11th. We're going to be part of the Superhero Streamers thing that they're running. I haven't got any details on it just yet, but we will be running some charity streams through there as a team. We will be asking you to donate to Cure Cancer, which is a cause that a good friend of mine now works for. So it'd be really cool to do that. The podcast, like I said, coming up. We've got some streams coming up as well. Content will start to get a little bit better quickly while my work cuts down, and then I'll be on holidays for 2 weeks, and then I'll be moving house for another 2 weeks, so it'll be a bit quiet for a little bit. But yeah, next Friday is the one. Bookmark it on your calendars. We'll be doing a nice, cool, fun live stream for the podcast. All 5 of us, I'm pretty sure, are locked in, and we'll be all live on webcams and having a bit of a roundtable chat, bit of fun, bit of a favourite memories and stuff like that. So yeah, join us for that. But Carl, what have you got lined up in the next couple of days, weeks?
Well, we have got the Cup coming up tomorrow night. Of course, it is the ANZCAR Cup over on ANZCAR on Facebook, and of course, Performance e-streaming on YouTube. So make sure to head on over anzcar.com as well for all the information on upcoming events. Of course, for that one, really looking forward to the Cup race tomorrow night. Hopefully we get to see you in the top 30 Wilco. Obviously, I expect you to be qualifying up in pole position.
Nope.
So do not disappoint me.
No, I have, like, the biggest problem I've got is I've got an open house between 5:30 and 6:30, and 7 o'clock is when the race starts. So we will see what happens there. I have heard that young Timmy Cornt is coming back after his rampage against ANZCAR Cup Series. He's going to come back and give it another crack. So I'm more interested to see him get in the top 30 and how he actually goes on the night. But like I said, it'll be touch and go whether I make the race. Even then, whether I qualify will be another miracle if that happens.
Well, if you don't make the race, then good luck with being the spotter for Timmy Corn. Obviously, you're always welcome in the podcast booth.
I may end up taking that option at this stage, because I think if I get in Timmy's ear, he'll just yell at me.
But other than that, of course, you can catch me over at Screezilla. Of course, over on YouTube. That's where I usually lurk and do things and whatever I'm up to. But of course, a big thank you to everybody tonight. A big thank you, of course, to Locked On Lads TV, and of course, Wilco for all of his hard work and effort behind the cameras and in front of them and on the comms tonight. And we will be seeing you next week for some more ANZCAR action as we head to
Dakota? Did I get it right
Dakota,
before?
yeah.
I did.
Yeah, we had to Dakota next week. So we are on the road courses next week. So a very different challenge coming up. So exciting to see how that
Can I
one
predict
goes.
now Andrew Dyson wins at about 45 seconds back to Jaden Russell? Second?
Oh,
We'll see.
we might see a Wild Wally or a Pearson appear, of course. One of those two.
Yes,
Those
I
road
think it'll be a
specialists can
DPR shutout next
DPR
week.
will be strong.
Yes.
But there are a few other road specialists out there, so be on the lookout. It's going to be exciting stuff.
Okay.
We look forward to seeing you then. Of course, a big thank you to everybody for watching and joining us tonight. If you can hit the subscribe button or the like and all that kind of stuff, it does make a huge difference for things. But until next week, this is me, Carl Wilkinson, with you, wishing you a good night. And of course, Mr. Peter Wilkinson, good night to you. And thank you so much for all your hard work.
I love that it's absolutely contagious and now you're doing it too. Yes, hit that subscribe button. I keep on forgetting that we're actually doing a thing here and you should be supporting us that way, but do it. Thank you. Have a good week and see you later. Bye.